Shoot the Breeze topic number 4 says, how many people did we lose to the rapture? How many people did we lose to the rapture? This comes with a prompt. I believe this takes us to TikTok. Let me see. I think so. Let me share my screen with you guys. Yeah, so you guys should be able to see my screen. Let me just double check. It's not up yet. My computer's run a little bit slow, so forgive me for the delay. I don't know why it's not coming up. Okay, it looks like it's coming up now. Let me move you guys out of the way. Okay, great. So again, should be topic number 4 says, how many people did we lose to the rapture? Let's watch the video and then we'll discuss it. Yeah, once again, hooting and hollering in some bush, looking up at the sky, waiting on a rapture. I think we had a old proverb about that, right? While we close our eyes to pray, these people took the land and gave us the Bible, right? Look, here we are, standing up in a forest somewhere, looking up at the sky, talking about a rapture. Meanwhile, these Europeans are in Africa, stealing the land, fucking up whatever cultural unity there ought to be. This is why we got to get out of this nonsense, because we wouldn't be wasting on our own African spirituality. We wouldn't be wasting time staring up in the sky, waiting for a hippie or whoever to come back, right? With that said, let me mix it up a little bit. Let me start with Cheryl on this. Cheryl, what's it? Maybe Cheryl's not there. Let me.
Cheryl got caught up in the rapture. We lost Cheryl. That's one.
Caught up in the damn rapture. Anyway, man. Kofi, I know Kofi's here. Kofi, what's it?
I got nothing to say. It's pretty much just egg on their face. You know how many times they claim over the past 20 years or so that I've been paying attention, saying that the end is coming, the rapture is coming, and it never happens. And these people go right back to church and be like, well, see, what happened was.
Did we lose Kofi?
To the rapture? Yes, we did.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, looks like the rapture was a couple days late. Cheryl's back. Cheryl, what say you? about how many people did we lose to the rapture?
I don't know. I'm confused. So I mean, you know, hold on, hold on for a second. Okay, so like I don't know. I feel like every year it's like it gets worse with social media, because like it's always something like people focused on, like in space. They're just like, oh yeah, three eye Atlas is coming. And everybody's like, oh yeah, that's Jesus, that's God coming back. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like it's always every year there's something in the news that hits the news, and it's like it's something to do with space, and it's something to, and they try to connect it to religion, and they just I don't know. It's just a mess. I don't know. We lose people every year though. I'm sorry. I just
Cheryl said niggas die every day, B.
every day, every day. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Remember
saying?
the wire niggas die every day. You
You talk right. You talk right. You talk right.
Yo, I'm weak, man. Yo, like this rapture thing, most people like they don't even realize they just gonna be like they gonna be in the grave. Like it should be like this a meme of a skeleton, because that's what they gonna be waiting for the rapture. Like
Appreciate that, Cheryl. So for those who don't know, I didn't really set it up, but maybe you guys, maybe folks listening didn't hear the news, but a South African man named Joshua Malakeli, I think, predicted the rapture would happen either the 23rd or 24th of September 2025. So these are Africans in a forest, probably in South Africa or wherever they are, looking up in the sky, waiting for this rapture to occur. This would not have happened had they not been these diehard believers in Abrahamic religion, by the way. And so this ties in so well with some of the other topics we had tonight, because we are defeated and have embraced this Abrahamic religion. This is the kind of thing we're doing. By the way, I didn't see a white folk in that crowd at all, right? But had we been in mind our business, practicing our own beliefs, we wouldn't be out here staring at the sun. So I just wanted to add that for context as well. But Bakari in the chat said his mom, how do you put it? He says his mom died 12 years ago. She was caught up in the rapture. He later said that his dad was caught up in the rapture in 1986. So some tongue-in-cheek type stuff. But I guess Kofi dropped off. Let me go to Real Black Gentleman. Real Black Gentleman, do you have something to say for this prompt?
Yes, I do. Not much though. I mean, I think it was goofy. Like I barely heard about it. Like kind of as an afterthought. Like this goes back to why I, fell out with the church. Is a lot of this like spurious, like religious revelation stuff that just people like the fake prophets and people saying shit like this gonna happen. Like from everyone. I mean, it's just like with the Kenyans, then they have a preacher trying to say if you would starve yourself to get, what I'm saying? Like it's the book, it's just it's a hellified book, right? It got these passages and it just describes all kinds of stuff in the most obscure but pointed ways. You know what I'm saying? It can mean anything at any time. That's why I know it's like it's bogus. But again, our people who, again, it's like that's wild. It's just like it's almost like people gave up and were just like, whatever happens, happens. We want to fall for some shit like this. Oh my goodness, this is why, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we almost have to out church the church. Like we say, like when Clark said we out Christ, like there's has to be something in this to get this energy going. If you can get people to come together for some nonsense, imagine if you could actually get them together for something like tangible and actually like productive. And I mean, you don't get everyone, but I swear it's like this is why I know there's potential in black people. Cause I mean, there's just too many. There's just too many black people. Even when you see the odd stuff, you know that you can, there's still something there. And I mean, it's like you don't, there's something there. I know it sounds crazy, but there's still something there. Because it's not everyone. And people come back from some of this stuff and they think, oh my goodness, this is some of the craziest stuff I've done. People get caught up in religion sometimes when they just know better and they get caught up in it. Like you hear stuff and it's crazy. Like it's crazy. But especially someone said with social media, you see stuff, you start putting two together, you start seeing signs that really aren't there, and you decide that, okay, this is it. I mean, I don't I was just looking at the verses, Thessalonians 4 chapter 4 verse 17. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so we will be with the Lord forever. You know how like pedantic and like simple that statement is? It's like that's supposed to mean people are supposed to just up in the air. And you know what I'm saying? That's where, you know what I'm saying? When you start like just projecting stuff out there in space and the randomness of the atmosphere, you know, that's where, you know what I'm saying? You're not thinking about any kind of like physical phenomena whatsoever. And like, I mean, I wish, you know, people were more scientifically inclined. And I mean, the thing is like, we were all taught this stuff in school. I mean, what it is like, I mean, for me, it's just like, I used to just read books. You got a library at the school. Okay. Go to the next library and read all those books, and then go to the next library and read all, and you learn more. But if all you want is one book, and it's like someone says, it's, you know, like Bob Marley says, it tickles me. We've got to fulfill the book. Like we have got to fulfill that shit. Like it tickles me. But you know, once you know better, and it's it's just life. You know, people live their lives, and you know, people they get mindful of stuff, and sometimes they don't when you get older. But I mean, sometimes when you get older, you learn stuff too. So you know, it's never like nothing's for certain. Although you do have tendencies, but you know, you still gotta believe in our people, despite this looniness. That's all I got to say. I'm gonna pass.
Appreciate that, RBG. I think Kofi has returned. Kofi, can you hear me?
Yeah, Jesus tried to come get me, and I slapped the fire out of him, so I'm back. As I was saying before I was really interrupted. No, I just find this to be very funny and sad. And I mean, they say Jesus is probably black because it's been 2,000 years and counting. He didn't come back yet. So I don't know what to say. You know, it's just very shows that this is just a part of just blind faith. And the thing about faith, the thing about being a Christian is so easy. And even when I was going through my change and my evolution, questioning it, I was jealous of other religions because I'm like, look, all I got to do is believe that the Lord Jesus Christ is my savior and that he died for me on my sins. And that's all I got to do. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I pretend to faint and whatever, let the spirit go through me and that's it. But you have other religions, they have rites of passage. So Jewish people, you know, they have rites of passage to be a man. They have all these religions and all these, not all these religions, all these rituals that they do. In Christianity, there's nothing there. You just believe, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And then I felt like I got this when I was a Christian. I've been born again like 3-4 times. I mean, I could kill a murderer person and I could still come to God and be a born again Christian, right? So, you know, I've been born, not that I murder anybody. I'm just saying to say that you can be a born again Christian 3-4 times and that's it. And all you gotta do is believe. There was nothing there to test my faith. Right, there's nothing there. You just believe and that's it. And you're on par with John the Baptist and all the other disciples. And it's to me when I think about it, it's a fulfilling feeling, but it's also an empty feeling because the joy they say I'm supposed to have, I probably felt like a little bit more than half of that joy. When when the pastor was going around, when everyone's in a circle and laying hands on you, and you pass out because you're going to feel the spirit go through you. And I remember, I'm like 14, 15. I'm like, yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And everyone is just fainting all from the left of me, on the right of me, in the front of me. Here he goes. He touches me and nothing happens. And I think maybe that happened to me 4 times. He laid hands on me. And one time I was like, all right, let me just do it just for looks, just for theater. But I never felt anything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say is like these people, I kind of see, well, I don't know if I went that far, but I kind of see a little bit of them in me, in my old self, or how I used to be. It's pretty much blind faith. There's no litmus test that you could give them because it's faith. Faith. When I talk to religious people, when I have these conversations, I say we have to understand that faith is something that you don't and can't prove. You can't believe. Like, look, I'm agnostic, right? I believe there is a higher power as far as all my African spirituality is concerned and what my ancestors said it to be true. But I'm not going to sit here and argue down that there's an afterlife. I don't know. I hope there is. But with Christians, they'll fight you tooth and nail on something that they don't know because they believe and they have faith. And I always tell people, if you know something, you would tell me. You know, if I say, hey, do you know where you live? You don't go, well, I believe I live in the United States, in the state of New York. No, you're not going to do that. You're going to say, I live here, blah, 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 blah. Not one Christian or Muslim or whoever could ever tell me that. So with these people, it's kind of like, it's funny, but it's kind of sad because I bet you most of those people right there went right back to church and didn't hold the pastor or whoever told them that this is going to happen. And they had to go to work the next day. That's it.
Appreciate that. Kofi. Make sure you guys are tuned in and subscribe to Kofi's channel, by the way. Juana, what say you to how many people did we lose to the rapture?
I don't know. I see Koku. See, me on this panel, I get called a capitalist pig, right? But see, I don't mind the people who believe in a rapture. In fact, here's the thing. For the true believers, I try to convince them more of it because I am gonna go around to all these people who believe that they're gonna be raptured. See, I'm gonna convince them I'm gonna be left behind. So I'm gonna ask them, say, can you please sign your house deed over to me? Because since I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna need your deed to your house and your car. Really and truly, just sign. No, because they're gonna be going. I'm trying to get Bud Crawford to convince him to be a rapturist. So when he leaves, I could take over his home because he won't need that anyway. Give me the deed to your house and car and all these other things, since I'm going to be the only one left here by myself, and you all go off and to live wherever you're going to live. But see, you go to these people, you'll find out. I tell the brothers on this panel all the time, it's not what people profess with their mouths, it's what they do. Are you such a believer in the rapture? Are you willing to sign off on a deed to your house and your car? Because you won't need those things. These are tangible things. You're going off into the spiritual realm. So sign the deed over to me, so I can, because I'm going to be left behind. I'm not a believer. So since I'm going to be left, I'm going to need those things. So see how many people will sign off to the deed to all these people, them land and houses and all the things they possess, if they true believers. Because there are people who convince people to sign off. I think there was a guy in a cult in Uganda where they signed off on the deeds to their houses and their cars. And eventually what happened is these Ugandan people who believe in a rapture, they put them all into a church and they burned down the church. And then the people who were the leaders of this cult disappeared. They were the ownership of all the goods and services. And I'm not that kind of capitalist. Let me just put that out there. But I'm just saying that if you are willing to go to this point, there are people who are going to be willing to take advantage of it. But I would just like to test to measure to what extent do you really truly believe in these things. If you do, sign over the deed to your house and car. Do that for me, because you won't need these things anyways. I'll leave it there.
I actually get Bonner's point there. But it also reinforces how sad it is. You claim to follow this stuff, but you ain't gonna sign over the deed to your house and this, that, and the other. But yet you're out here doing this foolishness when we have our own thing we could have been doing. But in any event, let's welcome in Ike and Fire this week. Ike and Fire, how are you?
Well, my people, respect to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Guana, respect. Let me put a twist in this, right? What's going on is a lot of us don't understand that Christianity is a weapon. You feel me? It's a weapon of white people. It's a weapon for white people to gain favor from us. It's a weapon that works against black people the most. A Christian white man with his God white have less trauma because his God is white, or he has a positive trauma because he sees his God in his own image. And he gained favor from the rest of the world who praise that God because he is closest to the picture of God, right? So we black people become white lovers, and we also become black haters. We become negligent towards our blackness. We become less valuable in our own people's eyes. You feel me? And the white man becomes more valuable. In fact, we actually, on a general level, think that white people deserve wealth, and we don't. And we actually work towards the white man keeping wealth, and we work towards stopping wealth from reaching each other. We prefer white bosses, and we hate black bosses. We prefer to see white people rich. We destroy black rich people. They cannot live around us. They gonna die. So it's a weapon. It's a weapon to keep us poor, and it's a weapon to instill hatred among each other. All those people in the trees, all those people in the picture right now in the trees, they are hateful people when they're living in their communities. They do wickedness to each other, and they keep each other poor. So I wish some of them had disappeared, because they are wicked in our communities. They are psychologically wicked and silently wicked. You feel me? And they are the ones being promoted as the ones who have status and recognition, and their popularity is making them feel like, because they're a majority, they are the ones who have any sense. When they are, if you are black and you are a white lover, you ultimately stupid. You feel me? If you don't like anything black and don't want to see black people in the position of wealth and don't want to work towards black people getting wealth, then you stupid. You feel me? Because you altering your own security. So that's what's going on with how I see things and seeing Christianity as a weapon. So we are losing. We have been always losing people. Thank you.
Appreciate that. I can fire. With that said, Black Seal, you've seen and heard everything everyone else had to say. What say you to all of it?
The rapture didn't get me, guys. It almost got me, but I was able to claw my way back. But but no, I say this kind of tongue in cheek to be funny, but at the same time, you got to laugh to keep from crying, right? Because this is ultimately it's a tragedy. So, like Wanda said, there were some people who sold their homes. There were some people who quit their jobs because they expected to be raptured on Tuesday. We talked earlier about how religious people don't even read their own holy books because it says in the Bible, the day of the Lord is as a thief in the night, and no man should know the day or the hour. But yet, all of a sudden, they know it's Tuesday. So here you are, you don't even read the scriptures you claim to believe in. You're selling all your worldly goods and your prosperity. I mean, your house, quitting your job, selling your car, and then nothing happened. So this has happened before. Where people expected the world to end. Most famously, it's an event in 1844 called the Great Disappointment, where this man named Joseph Miller predicted the world would end October 23rd of 1844. And he sat on a mountain, and people sold all their worldly goods, and they expected things to happen, and nothing happened. It happened in the 80s. There was a South Korean church. I think they call themselves the Moonies after Reverend Moon, and they expect to be caught to heaven. That didn't happen. So, but one thing I think has in common these end of the world events is that I think it comes on the heels of desperation, right? People cling to religion when times are hard, and they can't see any other way out of their problems. And to quote Marx's famous quote, religion is the opiate of the masses, right? It relieves the pain of that is caused by life. And when we see these people who get caught up in this stuff, we have a tendency to laugh at them and mock them. But at the same time, there should be a profound sadness because these people have, in many ways, given up, right? And they don't believe that there's any type of solution to be found in our world. So they have to look towards the next world for um, for relief. And I think it kind of shows to our original prompt how we let our freedom fighters down because at least back then, you had groups like the Panthers providing food and helping people with medical care. Now we don't even have that. So times are increasingly hard. We're again in the middle of a white supremacist renaissance that wants to inflict as much damage on us as possible. And many people don't see a way out. So I think this is a call for us to maybe organize and do what we can to help our people more because I feel that in the coming days we're going to realize that all we really have is each other. There's nobody coming to save us. There's no government institution that's going to relieve our issues. All we have is each other. Mutual aid, common self-defense is what we're going to need very soon. So I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Appreciate that. I think I skipped over Jackadale. Jackadale, what are your thoughts on how many people did we lose to the rapture?
Definition of a cult. Noun. Definition number 1. A relatively small group of people having beliefs or practices, especially relating to religion, that are regarded by others as strange or sinister or as imposing excessive control over members. Synonyms would be faith, belief, persuasion, affiliation, movement. I look at these things and it just screams cult culture. And why is that? Well, it's because usually how you get people into cults, according to research, is you get people that are desperate. I know this video where these people are looking up into the sky and hoping for something to happen, waiting for Christ to come back if he was ever really around. You know, our people in Africa, not all of them, but a significant amount of them feel like they're living in an actual hell, a real life hell, economically, physically, but nonetheless, they feel like this isn't their heaven. They feel like their heaven is waiting for them. And so they'll do anything possible to try to make that happen. And so if somebody comes along like Pastor Joshua, as Koku pointed out, from South Africa, you know, this whole thing was brought upon one guy on a podcast saying, hey, I believe that this date in September will be the day that the rapture comes. And people believed him. But I'm not looking to take accountability away from Pastor Joshua. Now, pastors, just like, you know, there's always a parallel I see with Black churches in America and Black churches in Africa. And it's that pastors pretty much have a tight grip on society at large, man. Oh my gosh, it's almost like they can do no wrong. You know, they can show up. I think I've told this story before. You know, one of the girlfriends that I had dated, you know, she took me to her church, a Black church, and the pastor opened up a sermon talking about, hey, you know, me and my wife, me and the lady, we went to a private island that some of you guys will never be able to afford to go to. And nobody moved. Nobody got up and threw a shoe at him like the way that Iraqi threw the shoe at George Bush. You know, nobody did anything. I don't even think people like breathed. It was almost as business as usual. And I say this to say, like, you know, I'm not 100% sure on when this will stop, but, you know, we have a dire situation. You know, we can say this is just Africa, but, you know, wasn't it another pastor here in America that was like, close the doors, close the doors, close the doors. We're not leaving until we get, what was it, like 1,000 out of each member to end up with like $47,000. This is cult-like culture. It's pretty sad, you know, whether somebody's telling you that Christ is going to come back or that you're being held ransom until you come up with some money. It's the same thing. You know, you're belonging to a cult. You know, some of my family members, you know, I know that they belong to a cult, you know, and I say cult in the terms of like, you know, if you try to leave your church, I'm not 100% sure on like if life is going to be that well for you, because you'll get societally shunned. You know, you feel like you won't have a community. A lot of people feel like their friends are made from the church, you know, the people that they entrust with their lives. You know, the girlfriend that I had, like, she would often go to church sometimes three nights a week. Now, I'm glad that Black Steel brought up that that comment about what did he say, coping, and he used the example of, you know, you hit up your girl, she doesn't answer, and then you say to yourself, she's busy. Hey, you know, my girl was going to church 3 days a week. I'm not 100% sure on like what was going on. You know, if she cheated on me, you know, I guess it was beyond my knowledge. Back to like you know, how many people did we lose to the rapture? We're losing people every day, not necessarily to the end of the world, but we're losing, you know, some of our family members, friends, girlfriends, to things that is very, very preventable. I'm not 100% sure on what it will take, but man, scamming is an age-old tactic. But come on, we're in the age of information. I'm not 100% sure. I'm open to ideas, but this is sad. And by the way, again, this was in Kenya. This video was in Kenya. I know exactly what tribe this is because some of the background talking, I know what tongue that is. And again, if it's not people hoping that the end of the world is going to come, which is really interesting. You know, Juana said like he knew people that were selling their homes. with the money that they got from selling their homes, do they think that there's going to be vending machines in heaven? I'm not 100%. How does that make any sense? Just keep the home, because what are you going to do with the money? But nonetheless, this is a cult. Let's get out of cults, man. Save our family members and friends. And if they don't want to be saved,
girlfriend.
Well, I'm sorry.
No. Bye. Just check the back. Check it out. Bye. Bye for.
Yes, sir.
All right, we welcome Buana back. Buana, I think I heard from you on this already, right?
Yeah, my electricity gone. It's thundering and lightning out here. My bad, Cool. Yeah, you heard from me.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. If there's no last thoughts, so let's just finish up the 5 topics. I have one last topic. That's a palate cleanser, of course. We've been talking about Abrahamics a lot tonight.